folks, do I ever have a fun video for you today. I did a collab with LordKnight, top tournament player and fellow fighting game YouTuber, and we each came up with a list of 5 very bad moves in fighting games. And what I think is interesting is we went in very different directions with our list. I picked moves that were kind of like, there's no real reason for you to use this move. No one uses it in serious play, but it is like funny. It's kind of funny that the character has it, but he went deep and found some horrible, garbage, unusable trash moves. So I found it pretty entertaining to make, and I hope you guys find it entertaining to watch. And make sure you go to his channel and check out the counterpart to this, where we each came up with 5 broken, overpowered moves. So I'll link that down in the description. Make sure you hit him with the sub if you're not already. And if you like this type of collab, maybe hit the video with a like. It really helps me out, and it lets me know that this is the type of content that you want to see more of. But with that, let's hop right into our lists.
First one I would pick is this.
Okay.
And the main reason is actually in Persona, there are no DPs, like traditional DPs. Everyone has a unique reversal called, I think in English called just Furious Action. So some characters like Narukami, it basically looks like a DP, and you do it by pressing 2 buttons, B and D button. And the Velvet Room characters, Margaret and Elizabeth, they're DP. So this is a DP I'm about to do, okay? It's important. I'm about to do a DP. This is her DP.
Okay.
Okay, that's our DP. So you can tech the DP. You can tech
Oh,
her DP.
no.
Yes, you could tech her DP. Not only can you tech her DP then, as you would expect.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
yeah. And it's a fatal counter.
Yes. You're dying if you miss this.
And it's like so safe jumpable too, because all you have to do is like jump at the last second to avoid it or backdash.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I actually, I played this game a lot, and I actually had no idea that you could tech that. Yeah. I've just been trying to jump out this whole time. All right, so we're looking at perhaps my favorite character in Marvel 2, which is Cyclops. But he does have one really, really bad move that I actually love, which is his command grab. Did you guys know Cyclops has a command grab? And it's a running bear grab, like Zangief. So he's going to run across the screen. And just look at the startup. Like, okay, if I'm like point blank and I want to do this move, like look how long it takes before it comes out. So it's very reactable. And it's a charge move. So you have to have back charge to do it. So, you can't like wave dash up and then command grab. No, you lose charge. So it's very, very hard to actually land this. It's even hard to combo off of. There we go. So you can combo off it in the corner, but of course this game does have like ground teching. It has rolling, so
it's not even guaranteed.
This is not real at all. The opponent can just easily get out. So yeah, this move is trash, but it is by far my favorite way to try to end rounds in this game. Like if the opponent is down to just a pixel, it instantly becomes my mission to kill them with this grab, because it's just so funny. Why does he have this? I don't understand why a projectile character has a charge, and he's not a charge character. Like none of his other moves are charge, other than like this weird like punch combo thing that he also never used. So
that I've never seen before.
Yeah, he's like not a charge character. So why does he have a charge command grab that doesn't do anything? I don't know, but I love it.
Yeah, you just showed me a bunch of moves I did not know he had.
I know, yeah, like optic sweep. Like people don't use that one very much either. But this move, that's where the real men all try to land that move. So yeah, that's my
boom. Strive. But you weren't expecting Strive. I gotta talk about Kyle's launch fireball. This move was really, really, really bad on launch. It had a bunch of problems. The main issue is that it has way too much total duration. Specifically, it had just way more recovery than before. So in this version, if you see him do this, you probably will not be able to reach him in time. Okay, I'm a little late. You're always gonna be like just a pinch late, but they had to remove around like 10 frames of recovery for this. Like on launch, he legitimately could not do that. Like he would not recover in time. And it was definitely feels bad because Kai You know, he's always supposed to be like this type of Ryu-esque character, and Stun Edge is a big part of his game in every version of Guilty Gear. And in this version, I want to say the original Stun Edge was probably the worst. On top of that, even at like ranges like this, so he has like this string, you would do Stun Edge instead. From here.
Oh,
it's counter
it
hit.
hurts.
Yes. It's counter hit. So it's just really hard to use in. I mean, not even really. So it was harder to use in pressure, harder to use in neutral, and his whole gimmick is that if he makes you block lightning, then it buffs all his other special moves.
Right.
So you're like, how am I supposed to get this when, especially like in neutral, how am I supposed to get this when if I use this, I just die? Like I am vulnerable all the time, and I'm super disadvantaged all the time, and I have to like somehow find another hit. It's one of the only moves I thought when the game launched that was like truly weak, and you were forced to use it, which is the bad. That was rough. You were forced to use it.
Right. I feel like it's also bad from the sense of like communicating character design to the players. So like you're just gonna make his fireball trash when that's like one of his like trademark things, that like one of the reasons that you would pick this character because you want to play a fireball character. Yeah, it seems kind of bad.
Yep, that's my second pick.
Ooh, this is fun. We're going to some Dragon Ball. All right, so we're here in Dragon Ball. We're playing my trademark character here of Krillin. I might get some pushback. It's possible that people think that this move is good, but to me, Krillin EX Rock Throw is not a good move, but it is a very, very funny move. So I have a soft spot for this move. You know, if you burn half a bar to throw a bean to yourself, and then if you pick it up, you regain your blue life. So to me, there are a lot of reasons why this isn't really a good move. I feel like you don't really see this move used very often amongst even, you know, the few good Krillin players that exist. They don't use it much. And the reasons for me, like the biggest one is just that this is a team game, and it is so easy to switch characters in this game. Like, unlike Marvel, there are like a million extra ways to switch. Like, you can switch during a combo for no meter. You can, you know, switch out of any move into a super. And obviously there's like DHCs and guard cancels, and raw tag is really broken in this game as well. So there's like a million ways to switch. So if you want blue health back, it's not hard to do. Like, you can just get your character out and we'll recover the blue life. So like using half a bar to maybe get blue life back, and that's all it does, doesn't seem like a good deal to me. And there's also the downside of like your opponent can pick it up. I hear a lot of people say like, okay, well, just get a knockdown and then throw yourself a bean, get the blue life back, and there you go. And I'm like, but is it really worth it? Like, if you get a knockdown, are you going to trade that knockdown for blue life? Probably not. You're going to like get the knockdown, and then you're going to like want to pressure with an assist or something. So, yeah, I know I'm probably going to get comments where people say it's not a bad move, but in my opinion, I think it is kind of a bad move. I don't really think you should use it that often, but it does feel really satisfying when you get like a huge chunk of blue back as like a solo character. That does feel really good. So I am a fan of the move, even though I think it's bad. Oh, I didn't even mention, yeah, sparking gives you blue life back as well. So like that's yet another way that you can recover blue life without having to burn a bar and try to pick up this little bean. So yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah, this one I didn't expect. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you think it's not a bad move? I'm sure
It's just not a move that I think about, I guess.
I know, because no one uses it.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it like that, I actually think your explanation was like really sound. Like, that makes a lot of sense to me. Like, you do have so many ways of swapping and recovering blue life that are all varying levels of safety. You know, like, okay, raw tag is safe if it works, but if it doesn't work, you die. But then, like, you know, switching during combos or DHC is like pretty safe. So and then of course you have sparking, which does a bunch of other stuff besides restore blue life, right? So
yeah,
the fact that Senzu Bean just does that, and you have all these other ways that you're probably gonna do instead, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know. I don't really have any pushback on that one.
All right, good. I got away with it. The better dbfz player is going to allow this pick, so that's good.
My next pick is Anakaris' guard cancel from Vampire Savior. because his guard cancel is punishable on hits, which is very cool. So
Oh no.
imagine being stuck in a string and this is your only option because he can't push block.
Yeah.
And you get punished anyway. So because of that, it leads to situations like this. Normally, you could like push block to get out of this. Strong vampire savior players are good at push blocking like single hits, but he kind of just has to hold this. He just has to sit here because he can't use his guard cancel. Because if he does, he's gonna get punished by throw into Oki again, which sounds like a very fun experience.
I love that literally his option for this is like to die so that you can ground tech. It's the only way he's gonna get out of the corner. I do think this is a good illustration because I actually get the question a lot when I play this game on stream. People are like, why is Anakaris bad? Like, he's considered the worst character, but you can see people do well with him, you know, like Mighty Mar and stuff.
He's got good stuff.
He's definitely got some stuff offensively, but I just feel like, yeah, the defensive downside is so huge.
That's 100% the biggest thing. Like, he has like the tri-jump mix-ups, and he's got like a neutral. He can turn you into a literal baby, you know, but his defense... His defense is ultra pain because he can't push block, can't guard cancel, but his guard cancel sucks. He can't throw you. Like, he has a bunch of things that he can't do.
All right, so I'm going right. Clearly, I only know anything about one character in this game because I'm going right back to Shenko once again. If you guys missed the spoilers, but I already talked about Shenko's best super in LK's video about good moves, but here we're talking about bad moves. So we're gonna talk about her worst super. Which is not that one. It's this one. It's the bomb throw. So, like, this move, the obvious reason why it's bad is that, like, I mean, you could just use the meter for 10 Raiha, which is, like, a broken move. So why would you spend an entire meter to throw out a bomb? And obviously, it's a symmetrical move. So, like, we are both at risk by this move. Both players can, like, knock it around the screen. So, it's kind of, you know, it's pretty similar to Faust Bomb in Guilty Gear. Except Faust can't control, like, throwing the bomb, whereas Shenko, she's, like, choosing to throw it. I don't know why you would ever choose it. But I have a soft spot for this move because I like moves that are, like, symmetrical like this. Moves that can impact both players, I think is always pretty funny. And I kind of like how this like, creates this little mini-game. Like, when this is on screen, instantly both players, like, focus on it. That's, like, all you can think about for the next, you know, 5 seconds is... how am I going to deal with this bomb? Like, who's going to get hit by this? So I think it is pretty funny when this comes out on screen. I do use this move, even though it's bad. But yeah, in terms of like, if you want to win the game, why would you spend a meter throwing out this bomb that has long startup? Like, you do this and it's like, okay, we got the bomb out, but to what end? So yeah, it's kind of a pointless move, but I think it's very funny, and I really like moves like that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I also like it when characters have, like, these item type of moves where both characters can do something about it. Usually the person who's throwing the items, like, oh, it's so bad that you can do something about this. But I'm like, bro, come on.
Yeah.
to be honest. I didn't know she had that move. There's another.
I know, yeah, she has, like, 8 supers. That's actually, like, one of the points of this video was I want to defend these moves existing because I feel like a lot of people think that if a move is so bad that you never really use it, they could just, like, delete it from the game and the game wouldn't be changed. But I actually think it would make a lot of these games worse if they just removed all these moves, because even though this isn't, like, ever used in competitive play, I still think it adds to the character. Like, if you're playing casually or playing with your friends, it's just a funny move for her to have, so I wouldn't want to get rid of it.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, there's definitely one good thing is that, like, it feels like all moves have purpose,
right?
You know? But then the downside is, like, I feel like there's way less, like, funny moves. Like for example, like, Strive doesn't have like IKs or like
right, exactly,
like things like that. Like moves that you don't have to use, but it's just like cool and shows off another part of the character's personality. You know? Yeah,
I think IKs are a perfect example because it's like, you know, there are some situations where people land IKs in tournaments, but it's pretty rare. But like, I think they do add a lot to the game because, like you said, it shows the character's personality and it like creates moments. Like, if you think about what are like moments that you remember playing a fighting game, like people remember the times that like, oh, we were having this set with my friend and I finished him off with an IK. Like, that feels so good. You remember it. Or like Cyclops in Marvel too. Like I remember when I've had a close match and I close it out with Cyclops command grab. Like you never forget that. So I do think it adds to the game for sure.
The one I want to talk about is the alien himself, Jiren, and it is this move. I still don't think this move is great, but on launch, I'm talking about when he came out in season 2, I want to say this move was 31 frames. It was really, really slow, and it's a button grab. So some characters in this game, like let's say like Broly, because Broly has one. Broly has a button grab, so the third hit of his auto combo is a grab. Actually, a few characters have this. I want to say, when did they do this? It was like in the middle, either the middle of season 1 or early on season 2. It's overall like a weakness of the character. When the game came out, it was really good, but later they were like, this is too good, so let's make it weaker. And the reason why is because unlike a normal command grab, where once you do it, you're committed to it. When you do one of these, you can cancel it into vanish on whip.
Right. It still counts as like a normal.
It still counts as a normal. So in Jiren's case, they gave him a command grab on a normal, but they made it really slow because I don't really know why. to be honest, besides you can cover yourself with vanish, but the vanish only matters like online. Like offline, so easy to see and just hit, and it's really slow. Like there are a number of different ways you can grab people in this game, like Dragon Rush, and then like actual command grabs, like Broly's 17 frame, invisible command grab, or even like this one, which is a little bit slower, but you get like a combo off it if you're in the corner. And yes, you can combo off this a bunch of ways, but it was just in a game where people were already like, a bunch of moves are not that useful because you could react to them, including things that were, while reactable, still hard to deal with, like this, the universal overhead. Having something that's like almost 10 frames slower than that,
yeah,
as one of the way you're supposed to open people up.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of moves in this game that are like edge of reactable, you know, like 20, 22, 24 frames, like moves that if they're looking for it, they can react, but you still catch people off guard. But 31 frames, like you really have to be asleep at the wheel to get hit by that. All right, so we're here looking at Vega, and we are actually looking at Vega Super. Which, first of all, look at the damage. We don't need. Okay, if you get the upward hit, I guess it does like 35%, so maybe it's not so bad. But the damage on that is crazy. But the real reason why it's so shocking how little damage that does to me is the fact that supers in general are not that good in this game, because 4 EX bars is kind of a lot. Like in this game, you don't build EX that fast. So yeah, like if you're just like playing normally, right? You know, you're kind of fighting for like every bar that you build. And Vega is really, really reliant on EX meter, because basically like his only combo ender is he can do this and then he gets a knockdown. So that's like his only good combo. Requires EX meter.
I see.
So you're rarely gonna have super. That's the first issue. There we go. So you can theoretically combo into this, but you're like working really hard to land not very much damage because it's gonna be scaled. You're spending all 4 of your super bars. I don't know. This move almost never ever sees any kind of use because it's a command grab. It's so like telegraphed, and it's kind of tragic because this is a character who was never really that good in any of the versions of 4. He was never like that much of a powerhouse, but especially in like vanilla SF4 where he was like one of the worst characters, arguably worse than Dan. This move that's supposed to be like his big like marquee, like, oh my god, you saved up all this meter, you should get something huge. It's just this crappy command grab that doesn't really work. So yeah.
Yeah, I always remember hearing in SF4 how the mighty have fallen. Basically.
Yeah.
You know, because he's really good in like Street Fighter 2, for example, right?
Yeah, he was really good in CVS too as well.
So they were just like, yeah, like every version he's just kind of struggling. I'm going to say as a disclaimer, what I'm about to say is some hearsay, okay? I dug pretty hard to try to find details about this move, and it's just really hard to find like an accurate old description of the move. The move I want to talk about specifically is this from season 1.
Oh.
Yeah, the original one. So in this version of the game, they have done a bunch of things to make this move usable. The main one being that there is a guard point protecting him when he does the move. So you can't just super dash at him. So the problem is his DP hits like full screen because he has all these blasts, but they're all key blasts. So if you on launch, if you either waited and then super dashed, as I did a little while ago, so I wait a little bit and then do it, or you hit him with a key blast invincible move of some type, like this or something,
yeah,
he's just kind of screwed. So even though he's invincible, you're going to hit him anyway. So he had a reversal that you couldn't really use except for really specific situations. I basically think like reversals like this, or like the Velvet Room Sisters like Furious action, the grab, like when they give you a reversal and you can't use it like a reversal because it loses to too much stuff, I'm just like, that's just sad, and that's just not good. And one theme of Dragon Ball is that I really do feel like they want you to use every character's move, like all their moves, you know?
Right.
So the main change they made to fix this was adding the guard point to help a little bit. So it's still like, it's not the best, but it's much better. It's definitely usable more often, and the opponent needs more preparation to beat it because it's not a normal like DP.
Right. They need to have like, what's my plan for, you know, if he's waking up DPing, as opposed to like, it's similar to the Velvet Room thing, right? Where like there are so many things that you would do on their wake up anyway that still deal with this move, you know? It's not like you have to like change your plan on their wake up because you're afraid they might DP. Like whatever you were gonna do is probably gonna work anyway. All right, let's go to my actual final pick here. This is gonna be the first appearance of Tekken on either of our videos here. So Tekken is kind of cheating because every character in this game has 500 moves. So like, you know, some of them are just gonna be useless. Most characters only have like 10, 15 moves that are like actually super useful. But we're going with Kazumi. This is definitely like the biggest example of a character with like a small moveset in this game. She has like so few moves. You just see like the same 4 moves from this character over and over. But she has one move that is not really seen that I'm a huge fan of, which is her down forward +2. The Tiger Uppercut. The Tiger Uppercut. This is one of the most badass moves ever. But it's not very useful because the thing is, you can see we have the startup frames here. Is 18 frames of startup, very slow compared to like her up forward 4 launcher, which is 15 frames, and even like this is an 18 frame punish as well, and you get way better combos off this than you do off the Tiger Uppercut. So she actually gets more damage off different punishes than this. This move is also like pretty easy to sidestep. On block, it's like insanely minus, like minus 24. Like they have all the time in the world to land like whatever massive punish they want on block on this. So the one upside of this move is that it's a high crush. She like ducks to do it, so you can like go under moves to land this. But in general, it's not really enough to make this move useful. I'm pretty sure if you watch high level Kazumi, they will literally never use this move. So yeah, even though I do think it is kind of cheating to use Tekken because, yeah, like every character has useless moves in this, I thought this was a good example of a move that doesn't see use, but I think it's good that it's in the game because if you're like a beginner and you pick this character, like this is instantly just like a fun move that you can connect with because, you know, it's a Tiger Uppercut, like that's hype. In high level play, it doesn't really affect the game because no one uses it. So I think the game is not harmed in any way by her having bad moves like this that are fun. So I thought that was like my go-to example of just a move that exists basically just for style, kind of similar to the Cyclops command grab. So yeah, that's my thoughts. But I wanted to get a little bit of your input on like if we're looking at all these moves that we saw today, are there any moves where you think either the game would be improved by them removing the move, or you think like it's bad for the game that the move is that bad? I guess a good example is like Anakaris, right? Like the game would simply be better if Anakaris had a usable guard cancel. But do you think there's any examples where like it's okay that there's bad moves, or am I just coping?
I don't think you're coping. I don't think you're coping. Like, so at least in my group, right? Like I was pretty all over the place with what I picked. So at 3 of mine are reversals. That should tell you something.
Yeah.
So 3 of mine are reversals that either don't work or they do work, but they're really hard to use for some reason or very, very punishable. So like the Anarchist, his guard cancel works, but if you hit it, you get hit, which is, so like what's the point, right? I mean the point is that, you know, you get out of the bad situation, but you took damage anyway. You know, it's like a weird thing. You can look at it like that. Like using Margaret's DP is hard, but there are applications for it, and there's a bunch of good things about it in some situations, right? Where so I can use it, or I can pick some other defensive thing. Where Kai, it's so integral to his game plan. Like, not only is he supposed to control space, but he gets a buff if he applies it to you, but you have to use this move that's not good. That's probably like the worst type. The Tiger Uppercut ones, like the fun ones, I think those are like really cool. Like, you don't have to use them. They're stylish. If you feel like doing it, then do it. If you don't feel like doing it, then don't do it. And it doesn't affect the character either way. Like, those are like fine. Those are, to me, those are more straight up fun moves than like bad moves.
Yeah, I think it makes sense that like it's situations where the character is complete without that move, right? Mm-hmm. If Kai didn't have Fireball, he would not be a complete character. But yeah, like Kazumi would be complete without this. Cyclops would be complete without, you know, his command grab. Krillin doesn't need to be able to throw a bean to himself to be a complete character. So yeah, I guess maybe that's the difference. And so like instant kills are like a good example of that, right? Like characters are perfectly complete without having instant kills. So it's just like frosting on top.
I think that's actually an interesting perspective too, because of the type of moves we picked. Because I felt like a bunch of the ones you picked are like, oh, this move is funny, but it's not like good, but it's funny.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's funny if you hit them. Where I think the reason it took me so long to think of these was because like, what is bad? Like, what is just like so bad? Like, what's the point of them adding this move? That's what I thought. That was the reaction I had when you asked me, what do you think are moves that are bad? Like, think of some moves that you think are bad.
I think you picked moves that like are responsible for a character being bad. You know, like one of the main reasons why Kai was bad was because his Fireball was bad. One of the main reasons why Anakaris is bad is because he has no like block options. Whereas I picked a lot of moves that were like, it doesn't really matter that the character, like Shenko is still a good character. She doesn't need that bomb, you know? But yeah, it was hopefully it was a fun list to put together. I know it was for me. I had a lot of fun researching some bad moves, so I appreciate you taking the time to go through them with me.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much.